Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to show you how to make this really pretty blanket. It's a great stitch. You can make this any size you like. It's really easy as well. It's an easy stitch. It's only a 1 row repeat and it's made up of little clusters, 2 little clusters. I'll show you how to do all these little loops on it. This is a great way to start a blanket and it makes the edge really pretty, and I've got the top of it's got the same little loops. Now the way this is crocheted, you don't even need a fancy side. It's got a really nice edge along each side of the blanket. Now I did 20 of the little loops. You'll see that when I show you how to make the blanket. I've done 20 of those and I've done 38 rows. So I'm going to show you how to make this pretty little blanket. So to do this little cluster blanket, I'm using a 5mm crochet hook. That's a 5mm, and I'm just using a big ball of double knitting pink yarn. You can use any double knitting yarn that you want. So I'm going to start with a slip knot. So you just do your slip knot whatever way that you want it. I just wrap it around my fingers, push it through, and then just pull. And you get a little slip knot. Put it on your hook. Now what I'm going to show you to do is the little loops that we had on the bottom of the blanket. So I'm going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wrap the yarn around your hook twice, like this. Then you're going to go into that very first stitch that you done. Into that stitch, like that, and pull through. So you've got 4 loops on, and you've got that little chain there. So yarn over, and tighten it up just a little shade. Stitches are too slick. So yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So you've got this little loop like that. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yarn over twice. Now you're going in, can you see that stitch there and that stitch there? It looks like a V. It's like a V. Go through both of those like that. Yarn over and pull through. You've got 4 stitches. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. And this is what's making those, a little pair of spectacles, look at that. This is what's making those little loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn over twice, and then in to both those stitches, the one that's there and the one that's there, this one and this one. Pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over through 2 loops, and yarn over through 2 loops. Now that's going to make the loops for our stitches to put our clusters in, and it's going to give your blanket a nice little edge. So you make as many of these as you want. So I've got 20 loops on my little piece here that I've done. I've got 20 little loops all along. You make yours as wide as you make it, as long as you want. It's up to you. Make it as long as you want. Now we need to start. We're going to work in the spaces, each of the spaces, and we need to start in that space. So we're going to just put your hook right through, pull your yarn through, and slip stitch. so that you're inside that space with that slip stitch. Now what we're going to be using is a treble crochet. If you're in the UK, it's a treble crochet. If you're in any other country, it's a double crochet. And we're going to be making clusters inside these spaces. So just put your yarn over and go into the space and pull through. Yarn over and pull through 2 stitches, just 2. Leave that stitch on your hook, yarn over and into the space again and pull through. Yarn over and through 2 loops. So yarn over and through all 3 loops. You're going to chain 1, yarn over and back into the same space to make your second cluster. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Leave that stitch on the hook, yarn over and through the loop again. Yarn over and through 2 loops. You've got 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 stitches, all 3 loops. So that makes your first double cluster. We're going to move into this one. So yarn over and go straight into the next one. Pull your yarn through. You've got 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over through 2 loops. Yarn over back into the space. Yarn over through 2 loops. Yarn over and through all 3 loops, and that makes your first cluster in this one. Chain 1, yarn over and in there again. Yarn over and through 2 loops, leave that on your hook, and again through 2 loops. You've got 3 stitches left, yarn through and pull it through all of those loops. So that makes your second cluster. Don't worry, once it's all done, it'll all pull itself together, so don't worry about that. Yarn over and into the next one. Yarn over through 2 loops, yarn over and again, through 2 loops, yarn over through all 3. That's your first cluster done. So we're making double clusters. Chain 1 and we're going to do our next little double cluster. So yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and through again. You've got 3 loops there, yarn over and pull through all 3, and that makes your next cluster, like that. And we're going to work our way all the way to the end. So I'm on my last one, my last little loop. So yarn over, do my first part in my cluster, chain 1 and do the second part of the cluster through there. And we're going to go into the spaces in between our clusters. So chain 1 and turn. So yarn over, no chain, just that one chain, yarn over and into the space between your clusters. Pull through, you've got 3 on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, leave that one there, yarn over and through, pull through 2 loops, and we've got our 3 loops there, pull through all of them, chain 1 and back into that same space for your second cluster. So yarn over, through 2 loops and then through all 3. So yarn over and into the next cluster. Just skip that bit, make sure you're going into the next cluster and not the space between the clusters. We're going in between the clusters. So in between here, yarn over, pull through 2, leave that one on your hook, yarn over pull through 2, then pull through 3 stitches, chain 1, yarn over and into the same space, going to do another cluster, leave that stitch there, yarn over, through 2 loops and then through all 3 stitches. So you're making another cluster. So this cluster is going to separate this one, and the next one will separate that one, and that's where you get that really pretty pattern. So skip this space and we're going in between this cluster again. So this is how my little blanket's looking now. And I'm on the last set here. So it's yarn over and we're going in between the clusters. Keep that stitch on there, yarn over, through 2 loops and then come through all 3 stitches, chain 1, yarn over, and we'll do our next cluster, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, leave that stitch there and pull through 2 and then come through all 3 like that. Looks like a piece of lace, doesn't it? It's really pretty. Now what you're going to do now is chain 1, turn your work, yarn over, and we're going to go straight into that space in between the clusters again, yarn over, through 2 loops, leave your 2 stitches there or your 2 loops, yarn over, and we'll do our second stitch in a cluster, yarn over, through all 3 stitches, chain 1 and yarn over and do our second part of our cluster, leave the stitch on, yarn over and through 2 loops, then through all 3, and that's you got your next cluster. We're going to move to the middle of this one, yarn over, through, so you've got 3 loops, yarn over through 2, yarn over, back through the space, yarn over through 2 loops, then yarn over through all 3, chain 1, that's a 1 cluster done, yarn over, through the space, through 2 loops, yarn over, through the space, through 2 loops, and then through all 3. And this is what your little blanket's going to look like. You just keep repeating that row. Just keep repeating that row. You have nice little bumps along the end of your blanket. You've got your nice little loops running along the bottom. This is my little blanket almost finished. I've done it 20 loops across and I've done 38 rows. I've done 38 rows of that little cluster stitch, and look at that, isn't it really pretty? And it crochets up really fast. If you need a blanket that's fast and pretty, then this is it. Look at this, it's really pretty. I'm going to show you how to finish off the top of it. It's a beautiful pink, this as well. Now we did the chain, if you remember, along the bottom, and then we started doing our clusters. So I'm just going to finish the top of this off. It won't be exactly the same because we don't have these stitches going across this bit, but we will have all the chains on. So I've got my crochet hook. I'm going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and I'm going to slip stitch in between each section of your clusters. Slip stitch, don't crochet it. So just put your hook right through the gap. So we're going through the gap, not the stitch, through the gap, and just pull your yarn through and slip stitch. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, into the next space, into the big space, pull through your stitch and slip stitch and chain 5, 5 into the space and slip stitch. Don't crochet it, don't do a single crochet, do a slip stitch, and that's going to put all your little chains along the bottom or the top, whatever you want that side to be, just the same as this. So I've done all my little chain of 5s and slip stitch into this space between the clusters. So I'm on my last one, 3, 4 and 5. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slip stitch into the corner. So I've just slip stitched into the end of that. I'll cut a tail off and just pull my yarn through like that and secure it there. I'm going to push my needle through and just pull this end through into these side parts. Oops, I pulled it back out. Push it in, down a little bit. Just weave it through the ends. Push my hook through there and just weave it. Then I'm going to cut that off. So that's a little blanket all finished, and it's really pretty. Look at that, it's a really pretty stitch and it's easy and it crochets up really fast. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Please click on that subscribe button. I really appreciate having you all as subscribers, and it is free to subscribe to my channel. Also, if you click on the little bell icon, you'll be notified when I put up another tutorial. So until the next time, happy crafting, and I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.